everyone, so today I want to talk about the 8th episode of the 7th series of Doctor Who, The Rings of Akhaten. As always, this review will probably contain spoilers because I do want to talk about certain things in the episode that may spoil it. So if you haven't watched the episode, please go and watch the episode and watch this afterwards because I don't want to ruin it for you. First thing I need to say is that I'm so thankful for this episode. If you follow me on Twitter or on Facebook, you know that I'm kind of upset just now, or I was, with the way Doctor Who was going for the last couple of series. There was a real lack in standalone strong episodes that didn't rely on the big picture so much. The Rings of Akhaten has completely turned that around. I think once we get to further episodes we will look back on it and see where it stands in the big picture. But it's not one of those episodes where you're watching it thinking, I need to pay attention to every detail to try and solve one of these mystery puzzles that Moffat seems to put in place all the time. So it's one of those episodes where when you watch it for a second or third time, you'll get a new experience because you'll be looking at it kind of after watching future episodes. So I'm very grateful to this episode for that reason. It's completely restored the essence of my love of Doctor Who. I'm quite surprised that we actually had more about the most important leaf in human history in an episode straight after we found out about it. I thought it would have been kept on hooks for a little bit, maybe episode 2 or 3 episodes down the line. I find that very fascinating. It's also a lot more simple than what I thought. I know a lot of people had the idea that it might be connected to the fact that Clara already knew the Doctor, whereas it was kind of the other way on. So a little bit surprised that was there so soon, but very fascinating and found it quite a strong element in the episode. And I'm glad that kind of resolved itself in that episode as well, so it's not being dragged out. The plot itself I thought was really interesting. For me, it kind of had a feel of the end of the world, the second episode in Series 1 with Rose, which is probably one of the reasons why I do like this, and it does remind me of my original love of Doctor Who and where that came from. And perhaps it's because we have the big sun, you have all the different creatures and things going on there, so it's quite similar in that aspect, though it is a lot busier. I don't know if anybody else feels this, but Doctor Who episodes now just seem to be a lot more busy, whereas if you look at New Earth and things, you have gigantic sets with not a lot filling them, if that makes any sense, whereas now it's completely crammed in. But it's still fun and still entertaining. Mary as a character I really liked. I didn't think I would when I first saw her for the first couple of minutes. I was like, not so much a fan. She did annoy me at one point when she was being a little bit whiny, but then I had to think, hang on, she is in a bit of a bad situation, give her the benefit of the doubt. So she's really quite nice. The plot I have no issues with. It's not one of those plots where I think we've seen it before. I don't think it's overdone. It's quite unique. And again, I'm not worrying about where it fits in the big picture. We might have to in future episodes, but just now I could completely enjoy it. It's a very fun, very entertaining standalone episode. Completely grateful for that. This was definitely quite an emotional episode. Of course, we started to find out more about Clara's past and her mother. I got very emotional at that point. And then also just the soundtrack as well, when you have Mary singing such a beautiful voice. The songs, the lullabies are gorgeous. This entire episode has a really quite sensational soundtrack all the way through it. And while I didn't buy the last Doctor Who soundtrack, I'm assuming there's been one since I last bought one. Since the last one I bought, I think, was A Christmas Carol. I probably will actually look into buying this, or at least downloading a few individual tracks from iTunes or whatever, because the soundtrack is just heavenly and I thoroughly enjoyed that aspect of it. Cast and crew are great, directed by Farron Blackburn and written by Neil Cross. Neil Cross actually wrote Mama, which I recently watched and reviewed. Quite an interesting film. Don't think there are similarities between the two, Doctor Who and Mama, but it's very good and very nice that you have somebody crossing over like that. Amelia Jones plays Mary, and she's brilliant. I haven't seen her in anything else. She's been in a few things, but nothing that I've seen. I think she was in Pirates of the Caribbean actually, but I haven't seen that one yet. So very good all round. Really liking Clara. You may have heard that when I found out Gemma Louise Coleman was going to be in this, I wasn't that positive because I've seen her in other stuff. I've seen her in loads of other stuff, and I really enjoy her. So I didn't want somebody that I enjoy as other characters to become such a well-known role, but I think she's fantastic. I think she has elements of other companions. To me, she kind of feels like a cross between Rose and Amy, and that's kind of what I get from her, but I think she's lovely. Really cannot wait to see what else is going on. The next episode for me doesn't look like a Doctor Who episode. In the trailer it looked like a Torchwood episode. Ironically I'm wearing my Torchwood t-shirt, so why am I complaining? But it doesn't, and a lot of people are like, well, it's, we're getting more into the classic side of Doctor Who, which is nice. But it's not what I want. I still miss series 1 to 4. I really do, and that's not just because it was David and Eccleston. So it's a good episode. Not looking forward to the next one, but hopefully I'll be able to give you a positive review once I watch it. Let me know your thoughts on the Rings of Akhaten, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!